Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show coming at you from the great state of Florida. One hell of a drug. And I do want to welcome you to the channel wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Thanks for watching. Today, the title is How Long Will Alt Season Last? We're going to break that down. We're going to look at some charts and a whole bunch more. But before we do that, smash the like button. This does help get this channel out to more people and does, of course, help support the channel, as does the wonderful comments that you take the time to write. I take the time to read them and respond. So first of all, let's look at alt season. How long will alt season last? In this cycle, it's tended to be a little bit different because in previous cycles, we've tended to have longer and more extreme to the upside alt seasons. However, this has not been the case in this cycle. We've tended to have mini alt seasons, and they've lasted anywhere between 100 days and about 30 days in length. We've had 3 of them, with the average being around 60 days. And reasons for this are a couple, okay? Number one, too many altcoins. The market is oversaturated basically with too many altcoins. And then secondly, too many altcoins with too high of a supply, okay? Just remember, the more supply of something, the lower the value. This is why I'm always cautious about altcoins that have no cap on their supply, that there is unlimited supply. This is what makes Bitcoin special. This is also what makes Tau, for me, one of the leaders in this altcoin rally, with only 21 million coins in circulation like Bitcoin. Sui also has a cap on its supply, whereas there are other altcoins out there that do not have a cap on their supply. They can keep adding to the supply, therefore diluting the price. And there are also tokens that have an enormous supply, and that makes the price of a token very hard to do parabolic 5 or 10x or 20x from here, because the supply is just too high. So I think that's why we're really struggling with these altcoin seasons not really lasting and being as fruitful as in previous cycles. However, if you're in the right coins at the right time, you can still make great amounts of money here, and will be interesting to see how long this alt season will last for. So far, we're about 30 days in. We'll have a look at that in just a moment. But first of all, we're going to jump into Bitcoin, and we see Bitcoin here above 104,000. So let's just give a quick update where we are with Bitcoin. Now, this was the bull flag. Remember, we established a bull flag here. We had a measured move, and this is what I measured live on my channel. I said the measured move was $104,000 to $105,000, and we absolutely nailed both of those targets, okay? One bull flag to rule them all, and it did, and it broke to the upside. We are starting to create another bull flag here, so we'll have to see. It's early stages of forming, not quite there yet. However, okay, the market does overall look bullish, and we still are in an uptrend, and we have a golden cross that is surely only a matter of time where the 50-day moving average crosses over the 200-day moving average. When that happens, usually there has been a high percentage move for Bitcoin to the upside. So I still remain overall bullish. I still think the trend, obviously on the daily and on the weekly time frame, is an uptrend. 104,100 is a key level of support, right where price is above right now. The reason for that, because if we do want to remain and not get a sell signal on the medium term here on the stochastic RSI, and it is starting to break down to the downside, and we don't want to see it cross that 80 level, we do need to have a daily close today above $103,000. Below that, and it's likely that this will continue to cool down, and we could have some short-term pullback, okay? Very, very important. Now, also notice on the 4-hour, and I have alerted the Discord to this over the weekend, bearish divergence for Bitcoin on the 4-hour, both on stochastic and on the normal RSI. That is where the RSI creates lower lows and Bitcoin has created higher highs. There is bearish divergence. Now, first of all, this could be invalidated. if we were to break above around about 80.4 on the RSI, that could be invalidated. So that could curl back up and completely invalidate the bearish divergence. I've seen it happen before. All of a sudden something happens and bang, the money comes into the market and this just pushes this up. This can happen. Number two, it may not play out right away. There was a bearish divergence on SUI roundabout when it was at $3. Well, it pumped all the way up to $3.80 and then came all the way back to about $3.20 before then going off now and pumping all the way up over $4. So if you had a panic sold your entire position at $3, you would have missed that 80-cent move, and then you would have had to buy back at $3.20. So there could be a little more juice in the tank, a little bit more juice to squeeze before we were to see any pullback. That's, of course, in case it doesn't get invalidated first, which it could. Now, SUI, for example, and I'm looking across the board, SUI, Tau, Ondo, Bonk, Solana, all bearish divergences on the 4-hour time frame. SUI also has a bearish divergence on the daily time frame. Okay, now Bitcoin dominance has broken down, as we can see here. There is a huge breakdown here, and we've lost the 50-day moving average there. Okay, and so what we can see is we're coming up on the 100-day moving average as support for Bitcoin dominance. Now, we could see if that 4-hour bearish divergence does play out, possibly we could see some profit taking happening and we come back up, retest, or even reclaim the 50-day moving average and then come and retest this 20 EMA on the daily is a possibility. Of course, if that bearish divergence gets invalidated, we could see this continue to break down to and lose the 100-day moving average there at about 62.44%. So that's how that would work. And altcoin season, I did a video the other day and a couple of people had some questions about saying, well, are we in altcoin season or not? Well, according to this, we aren't. This indicator is altcoin season. It's not altcoin season. But if you went and just bought altcoins when this says it was altcoin season, it would be over in just a few days and you would have likely bought the top. We want to buy our altcoins on confirmed support down around this area, and this is where we want to sell it. And so ideally, once it gets up to this level, that would be the place to sell your altcoins, not be buying them, okay? So how do we really measure the altcoin season? Well, obviously, Bitcoin dominance is a big one that we look at. When that's broken down, then we say, hey, yes, we're in this kind of a mini alt season right now. And if you go to and have a look at total 2 and total 3, which is all of the altcoins here, we are above the 200-day moving average. So a pullback to the 200-day moving average wouldn't cause any kind of alarms. There is a bit of a bull flag forming there, so it could pull back a little bit there with that 4-hour bearish divergence playing out before shooting more high to the upside. And you can see just here on the daily stochastic, if we do curl down and break down below that, you generally saw what happened last time. There was a bit of a pullback for alts there, and then we got a little bit of a pump, and it's kind of been going up. There was a small pullback to the downside. You can see not a very harsh pullback to the upside before moving up. So keep an eye on that chart. And so you have seen that we've been going since the bottom, since alts bottomed out. We have been going now since about the 8th of April now. We have been going for around about 34 days. And like I said, the last one was about 30 something days. I would expect this one to last a little bit longer. I would be quite shocked if we then capitulated from here. Of course, previous pumps have been around 100 days, and the average is 60 days. So we'll see what happens. Do you think it's going to be more? I want to see how long you think this alt season is going to last. When do you think it's going to finish? Is it going to finish soon? Is it going to finish after 60 days was the average, or are we going to have a nice pump out to 100 days there for alts there to rally? So that will be interesting with that. And then we do have a CME gap for Bitcoin. It is between 103,600. That was created over the weekend. You can Google search that if you're interested to learn more about the CME gap. That is right here between 100 103,625 and then also 104,685. So 103,625 and 104,685. We're very close to that, and I wouldn't be surprised if we did come down and fill that fairly quickly. It's not a concern. It is very, very close to price there, okay? So very, very interesting that we have with the markets here. We also have a bull moon. Okay, there we go. We got it turned on. So you can see what happened in the bear moon. It just went sideways. Now we have a bull moon for the next 14 days. And it doesn't mean that we can't have a little bit of a pullback before things take off there. Let's have a look at follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. And what we can see here is we can see that there is liquidity below at 102, 103,000. That would fill that CME gap there, okay? And would also, and there you go, there is a lot of liquidity building up below on the weekly time frame. That can get left for some time, so don't think that it's going to come and get all that right away. On the monthly time frame, remember, we do have bearish divergence on the 4-hour time frame, and so just be cautious with that. Make sure your stops are set there. And then, of course, there still is a lot of liquidity to the upside there, billions and billions of dollars from 107,000 all the way up to 111,000. There's probably another 10 or 20 billion in there. And then to the downside, the big level to look at is that low 92,000, that 92,800. That was what I was saying. We do not want to close below that level or have any drop below weekly or daily close below that. That would be quite bearish there. Okay, and just remember the Discord, we have a new channel in here. I did share about this yesterday called Trading Signals. This is specifically for medium term and longer term plays for stocks and for crypto. So there is plays there for, I will be adding, and all I'm going to do is put when I sell and when I buy. So if you simply just want to copy trade my trades on a medium portfolio and my longer term portfolio, both for stocks and for crypto, that is a new channel that has just been created, rebranded there. And when those sell signals or buy signals come, I will be posting them there. Of course, you have my regular crypto plays. This was just from last week. The bonk trade was absolutely incredible there. I gave a signal there at 18, and that got up almost all the way up to 26 there. So that crushed it. The Solana trade gave it at 154 and 157. That's almost hit that 180 target to the upside. And then, of course, even if you'd gotten this Tau here, that went up to 475. And this was just, I gave these signals literally just a couple of days ago. You could have paid for the Discord for the month, the year, maybe even a decade had you taken one or more of these trades. Ondo from 92 cents all the way up to $1.07. Sui from about 372 all the way up to over $4 there. Absolutely wonderful. And of course, Bitcoin was at 96 and went all the way up to 105. That could have easily paid, you know, the cost of the Discord, less than a cup of coffee per month, people. And you get all these amazing trades, communities, all the wins that are in there. You can see crushing it today with ending his day. The Thunder from Down Under at $578 win there. Maddox with a beautiful 136% win. The Braveheart trader loves waking up to the smell of profit, 43% winning trade there. Izzy Lanes, Nino there as well. Donut again. Nikola Tesla crushing it as always. Some fantastic wins and some fantastic trades there. And if you would like to learn how to get part of the Tribal Trades Discord, all you would need to do is see there is a description below. You click the more button, that pops out, and of course you can sign up for the Discord there, where I share education, insights, resources, my trade setups, and of course entertainment, because this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. Are you not entertained? And with that, we're going to wrap it up right here. And as always, thanks for tuning in. And until the next episode, or until I see you on the Discord, happy trading.